tonight are folks that are out there front and center, while others work more quietly and behind the scenes. But their contributions have been critical to the success of the pest control industry just the same. And our second leadership winner, Dr. Changlu Wang of Rutgers University, is the latter. So during the last 20 plus years, Changlu, an entomology extension professor at Rutgers University, has provided the pest control industry with incredibly important lab and field research, particularly with two of the industry's most problematic pests during this time, cockroaches and bedbugs. What makes Changlu's research so valuable is that he spends significant time in the field, seeing how insects live, act, and move, and observing how the industry's products and service protocols are working to control these different types of pests. It's something that Changlu's basically done his entire life. As he recalled, I grew up in a village outside of Beijing and many experiences with insects as pests on crops and fruits. So Changlu recalls as a child using a bow and arrow to shoot down cicadas, collecting cicada nymphs to eat, using a broom to catch dragonflies, collecting June beetles to feed to chickens, and placing katydids in a cage so that he could listen to their sounds. What sets Changlu apart is his dedication to the people his work helps and to the research itself. Getting out in the field to see how the solutions that he's developing work in actual urban settings. And Changlu's enthusiasm for entomology has not gone unnoticed by his peers. Syngenta's Mark Kofelt credits Changlu for being one of the few people out there who's willing to conduct true applied research. As Mark said, Changlu will go out into the field to an apartment complex or public housing and take German cockroach counts before treatment and after to compare results with insecticides or baits. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. So as mentioned, Changlu is a native of China, and he started his college career in Beijing, where he received his bachelor's degree from Beijing Forestry University, followed by his master's from the Chinese Academy of Forestry. He came to the U.S. in 1995 to work on his doctorate at West Virginia University. And the differences between Beijing, China, population 21.5 million, and Morgantown, West Virginia, roughly 50,000, were eye-opening to Changlu. But Changlu was able to adapt to life at a slower pace. After receiving his PhD from West Virginia in 1998, Changlu went to work for the USDA Ag Research Service in Stoneville, Mississippi, an even smaller town than Morgantown, with about 1,000 people. And while there, he was part of the Formosan Subterranean Termite Research Unit. So in 2002, Changlu was recruited by Dr. Gary Bennett to work at Purdue's Entomology Department as a research scientist and manager. This involved testing products in the lab and in the field. And during that time, he worked on generating grants to fund his research, establishing relationships with colleagues at the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the EPA. As Dr. Gary Bennett recalled, he was very assertive in getting out there and generating funding for his programs. He was never late on a deadline, and when any opportunity came up for funding cockroaches or termites, he was assertive in getting that funding. He had the ability to do the kind of research that folks were looking for, industry and government-funded research. So while Changlu enjoyed his time at Purdue, in 2008, he had the opportunity to take a tenure position at Rutgers University. So in his current role as extension specialist, Changlu's main role is helping the public through his applied research. He provides training and demonstrations, answering any questions that people may have, and this is from New Jersey residents to pest control service technicians. So also while at Purdue, Changlu spent time conducting research at public housing development and studying how certain pest management treatments work. By doing so, he formed a close bond with residents, which was crucial to the success of his research. As he said, you have to understand the community's culture and that they may have faced challenges financially, emotionally, or physically. They have different attitudes about pests. Some people do not want people to come in. Some people do not want to listen to any advice. And applied research is something that Changlu has carried on at Rutgers, said Shannon Skad, a former student of Changlu's who works for Western Fumigation. The two of them work together on monitoring how house mice can be controlled using different kinds of bait. As Shannon said, Dr. Wang is consistently looking for how the research he's engaged with will impact the industry from a practical application perspective. He's offered great insight through his efforts, which have supported the pest control industry, and more importantly, those the pest control industry serves. So also while at Rutgers, Changlu's authored numerous books and journal articles on his research on urban pest management, pest behaviors, and the potential for insecticide resistance. He also holds 2 US patents on technology to help with the management of bedbugs. And Changlu has also helped raise the profile of Rutgers' entomology program. Its bedbug page is highly trafficked and has become one of the leading bedbug control resources. And earlier this year, popular YouTuber Mark Robber and his team recently visited Changlu's lab to take a deep dive to the fascinating world of bedbugs. And while accolades and praise are great, for Changlu, it all goes back to finding solutions and making a difference, and doing it all with a positive attitude. Changlu has a real great passion for using science to improve conditions in underserved communities, said Rick Cooper, who's an industry consultant and also received his doctorate from Rutgers University and worked with Changlu. And Rick also praises Changlu for being a great person away from the lab and the field. Changlu has been married 34 years to wife Qi Zhang, and the couple have 2 children, son Yi Qin and daughter Jessie. As Rick noted, he's one of the kindest, gentlest, most soft-spoken people that I know. He's highly motivated and is extremely determined. So Changlu is not here with us tonight, as he is in China on his sabbatical, but he recorded a message that I'd like to play for you right now.
Hi everyone, I apologize for not being able to receive the recognition in person. I'm currently in China to attend a meeting. It is a great honor to be a recipient of the Crown Leadership Award. It has been 25 years since I began working on urban pest management. The urban pest management industry has always been the most important partner of my research programs and a significant funding source. I owe much of my success to their support. Thank you for supporting the urban entomology research. There are many individuals who helped me in my career. I would like to start with Dr. Linda Butler, who was my PhD advisor. Without her, I may never be able to come to the US. Dr. Janine Powell hired me as a postdoc at the USDA ARS, working on biological control of Formosan subterranean termites after I obtained my PhD. Without her, I may be working on a totally different field, as many of my Chinese friends switched from entomology to computer science or statistics in the late 1990s. I want to thank Dr. Gary Bennett from Purdue University, who hired me as a sponsored product research manager in 2002. Under his leadership, the Center for Urban and Industrial Pest Management at Purdue University provides students and staff excellent learning opportunities. I also want to thank Dr. Rick Cooper. He's my first PhD student, but he had 19 years industry experience before he joined the PhD program. He helped me obtain several competitive grants, and his dissertation research provided some groundbreaking knowledge about bedbug ecology and management. And he continued to be an important partner in urban entomology research until present. From 2017, I began to collaborate with Dr. Bobby Corrigan on urban rodent research. Dr. Bobby Corrigan is an amazing urban rodentologist. I learned a lot from him and expect we'll continue to make new discoveries about the urban rodent biology and management. There are many others to thank, but I will stop here by congratulating other members for being selected for this year's Crown Leadership Award, and thank Pest Control Technology magazine and Syngenta Company for honoring me.
Please join me in recognizing Changlu Wang as a member of the Crown Leadership Class of 2023.